And you are being honored with Lifetime Achievement Award, which is a big honor, and congratulations for that.
Thank you. It makes me feel very old.
I'm sure there are many more awards are waiting for you. So it is, of course, you have received so many prestigious awards from the industry and your peers, which is absolutely mind-boggling. So this is, and hopefully more will come in the future. So now let me ask you one question. Who is Anant Agarwal? I know he is the CEO of FedEx and a professor at MIT, but as a person, what drives Anant Agarwal?
Oh, I like to have fun. I like to drink decaf coffee. I really enjoy my breakfast in the morning, a greasy breakfast at my favorite diner
Which
in
is?
Natick.
Natick.
It's called Fresh Cafe.
Certainly, when I was 4 or 5 years old, I remember I hated school. We all sat cramped in a little classroom in Mangalore, in India, all next to each other, and teacher would take a ruler and actually whack us on our knuckles if he talked. I had to go to class 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and I hate mornings. There was no concept of an internet. We had an old rotary phone in our house that on a rainy day would not work. Imagine now, you could learn whenever you want, wherever you want. Imagine you could also be learning at midnight. You could be eating a snack while you're learning. Learning becomes like a video game. You are enjoying it.
In 2012, I met Anant and I thought, who is this crazy guy? What are his ideas and what are we doing here? And now it's 6 years later and he's still crazy, but in a very good way.
Education is a right. Everybody should have access to it like the air we breathe. That's accessible education. ED is for education, and X is for whatever you want to dream about. You could think of X as infinity, X as exchange, X as forever. It's whatever you want it to be.
I thought Anant did really influence me the most, and that was to think big. So one quick story about that. I was a graduate student sitting in my office at MIT, and Anant came in really excited. And he said, "Hey, Hank, did you know that marathon runners actually cool down as they run the marathon?" And I said, "I didn't know that." And actually today, I still don't even know if that's true, but I took it on face value. And so I said, "No, I didn't know that." Okay. And Anant goes, "Well, what if we built a processor that also cooled down as it ran?" And then he was off to some other meeting. But that inspiration actually became the basis of my PhD thesis and even the work that just recently got me tenure. So Anant, thank you for everything, but thank you especially for always encouraging me to think, the biggest possible thoughts.
I mean, for the first time, we are consistently applying technology to education. And we have applied technology to everything else, to sports, to communications, to healthcare. For the first time, we are applying it to something that's so important. Education is an absolute fundamental human right. We're now applying it to education. And when people have applied technology to any field, whether it's communications or healthcare, many good things happen. First of all, it becomes widely accessible. Second, there are opportunities to make it much, much higher quality, whether on campus or worldwide. Then finally, I think there are opportunities to make the whole system and the quality such that it's more efficient, so that more students graduate, and maybe we can also reduce cost. But I think these are experiments that we are performing to see where we can.
Hello, I'm David Chaikin, one of Anant's first graduate students at MIT. Here's what it was like to be Anant's student. Somehow, he always seemed in tune with the universe. He would make claims that we students would think were totally outrageous, so we would set out to prove him wrong. And in the course of trying to disprove his outrageous claims, we pretty much always did just the opposite and realized that he was actually totally correct. Anant's claim that had the most important impact on my education was the assertion that a team of about 8 of us young researchers could build a complete multiprocessing system from chipsets to programming environments. The history of the Alewife project proved that Anant was not just correct, but dramatically successful. So congratulations on being honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award, Anant. I'm wishing you all the best.
I would like us to really reimagine education. We will have to move from lecture halls to e-spaces. We have to move from books to tablets like the Akash in India, or the Raspberry Pi, the $20. The Akash is $40. We have to move from bricks and mortar school buildings to digital dormitories. But I think at the end of the day, I think we will still need one lecture hall in our universities. Otherwise, how else do we tell our grandchildren that, you know, your grandparents sat in that room in neat little rows like corn stalks and watched this professor at the end, you know, talk about content, and you know, you didn't even have a rewind button. Thank you.